What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we got my prediction video for UFC Fight Night, Usman versus Buckley. This is a pretty good card, especially for a fight night. There's some fights on here that I'm pretty excited for. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Vanessa Demopoulos versus Jamie Lynn Horth, first fight of the card. I'm going to be picking Jamie Lynn Horth. Vanessa Demopoulos is not UFC caliber, and Jamie Lynn Horth is just the more skilled fighter. Simple as it is. Next fight. Pretty interesting one here. Phil Rowe versus Ange Loosa. I've been going back and forth on this one. I think in terms of welterweight, they're literally the exact same skill fighter. Like they are the exact same skill level. Like just when it comes to like being an MMA fighter, they're the same level. They're the same level of MMA fighter. I've been going back and forth on this one, but I'm gonna go with Phil Rowe. I think the range of Phil Rowe is gonna allow him to kind of keep Loosa back. Both of these guys have the tendency to be gun shy, but I think if they're both gonna be gun shy, the way Phil Rowe can utilize his range might be able to dictate a lot of the pace of this fight. I do think Luce is gonna try and grapple, but I don't know if he's just gonna push that grappling pace the entire time and like successfully just continuously dominate Rowe on the ground. I think Phil Rowe can land some good shots on the feet. I think Phil Rowe can utilize his range well. And I'm seeing a lot of people picking Lusa. I think Rowe is going to get this one done. So give me Phil Rowe by decision. I think he pulls off a little bit of an upset here. Yeah, he's the slight underdog. I think he pulls off a bit of a upset here. Next one, Ricky Simone versus Cameron Smotherman. I was really excited for Ricky Simone versus Charles Jourdain. Spoiler alert, I was picking Ricky Simone to knock Jourdain out. But this one, I don't know. I like Cameron Smotherman. He's a cool prospect, I guess, but it's a less hype matchup now. I'm still going Ricky Simone, not by knockout though. I'm gonna go with him by submission or decision or submission, one of those two. I'm gonna go decision. I think Ricky Simone is just going to be too much for Cameron Smotherman. I think Ricky Simone is better than Serhi City, and Serhi City was able to just outclass Cameron Smotherman. I think Ricky Simone is a better wrestler here. His cardio is legit. He pushes an insane pace. He's got power in the hands. He can box. I think Ricky Simone is going to put a pace on Cameron Smotherman and win a 30-27 decision and kind of show levels to Cameron Smotherman. Smotherman is young. He's going to improve, but way too early in his career for me to be picking him to beat a guy like Ricky Simone. So I'm going to go Ricky Simone by decision. Yeah, sounds good. Let's move on to the next fight. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa. This is another one that I was kind of 50-50 on. Originally, I was leaning Cody Durden, but I'm going to go Jose Ochoa to win this fight by a finish. I think he's going to TKO Cody Durden early. Ochoa looked really good against Loner Kavanagh. Really good. And I think Loner Kavanagh is legit. Even though I picked him to lose his last fight against Felipe Dos Santos, which was a more competitive fight than most people thought it was going to be, Loner Kavanagh is legit, and Jose Ochoa made it very competitive with him. Had him hurt to the body at some point. And Cody Durden, he's not that good. Like he's a good grappler, and he's got he pushes a good pace. He's got cardio, but I don't know. I think a guy with like skill and like danger, and a guy who's like composed in there, can just can give Cody Durden problems. You know, a guy like Joshua Van who can go in there, enter a flow state, and put it on him. I think Jose Ochoa can do something similar, but I think he's going to get a finish early, first two rounds. I think Ochoa is going to shock the world. Maybe not shock the world, but I think he's going to hurt Durden to the body maybe, hit him with some uppercuts, catch him going for a bad takedown, and I think Ochoa is going to put Durden away I think Ochoa is going to put Durden away via TKO. I can't seem to speak today. Jesus. But yeah, I'm going Jose Ochoa, first round TKO. Let's move on to the next fight. Oh, Lord. Malcolm Wellmaker versus Chris Moutinho. So this is a sacrifice. I feel bad for Chris Moutinho. I'm picking Malcolm Wellmaker as a lock by first round KO. This is one of the easiest pick. This is the easiest pick of the card, in my opinion. Wellmaker is going to smoke Chris Moutinho and flatline him in the first round. Okay, Moutinho is cooked. He's done. I don't even have to break this one down. Moutinho, yeah, he's tough sometimes, but we've seen him get flatlined before. We've seen him get put away. Wellmaker's nasty. Malcolm Wellmaker's the pick. Next fight. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee. I'm going to go with Michael Chiesa to win this fight by submission. Court McGee's just lower level. I think there's 3 tiers to welterweight. There's bottom of the barrel, which is guys like Tim Means, Court McGee can throw in there. Alex Morono. Guys like that. There's the mid tier, which is guys like Michael Chiesa, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Daniel Rodriguez, uh, Nicholas Dalby, guys like that. And then there's the elite tier, which is obviously like, your Jack Della Maddalena's, your Michael Morales's, your Ian Gary's, guys like that. I think Michael Chiesa is just a tier above Court McGee. The grappling is going to be night and day. Chiesa is going to be bigger, stronger, better on the ground. I don't see McGee just latching up a sub, even though that is a possibility. This is not Tim Means that we're talking about. Michael Chiesa is still, physically capable as a fighter. And on the feet, they're both going to look shit. So this is going to be an interesting fight, but I think Michael Chiesa is going to pull off a nice little submission win here and maybe get himself a performance bonus. Michael Chiesa is Michael Chiesa is an interesting person. Anyways, next fight on the card: Paul Craig versus Rodolfo Bellato. I'm hyped for this one. I was upset when Rodolfo Bellato pulled out last time. Apparently he had herpes. I don't fucking know. But yeah, this fight was booked a couple cards ago, got canceled, and I'm hyped for it being rebooked because this is actually a pretty interesting matchup. I am gonna go with Rodolfo Bellato by first round TKO. Light heavyweight Paul Craig is a much different fighter. He's got some serious wins up here: Nikita Krylov, Jamal Hill, Magomed Ankalaev. He's got some serious wins under his belt at this weight class. He's a lot less chinny, and light heavyweights are just worse at fighting, so he tends to do better. But I just think Bellato is too much of a physical threat and just too dangerous on the feet for Paul Craig, especially at this stage in his career. Paul Craig just can't hang on the feet with anybody, and he doesn't have the wrestling to force a takedown. So unless Bellato slips up and does something stupid, I think he's going to tee off on Paul Craig on the feet and get an early first round TKO. That's just how I see this fight going. Bellato is kind of stupid, so there is a part of me that thinks like, oh, Bellato's gonna like drop Paul Craig and then go into his guard and then get triangled. But I think Bellato at this stage in his career, at this stage in Paul Craig's career, I feel like it's kind of common knowledge that if you drop him, you just let him get back up or just let him do his thing. You don't chase him into his guard because that's just how he gets submitted. So I think if Bellato does drop him, he's I don't know. Bellato's stupid. He might chase his guard. I'm scared about that, but I do think Bellato's going to get this one done. I don't think he's that stupid. And Paul Craig doesn't have the wrestling to get it to the ground, force it there. And I think Bellato he has serious power. He has really serious power. And he fights through adversity very well. Even if he does get put in a deep submission attempt, I can see him surviving. That fight against Jimmy Crute, where he got 10-8 in the first round and then rallied back to make it a draw. He fights through adversity very well. So yeah, I'm gonna go Rodolfo Bellato first round TKO to move on to the next fight. We got Alonzo Menafield versus Umar Sy. This is a pretty easy pick. Umar Sy, in my opinion, is like probably the best light heavyweight prospect that we have. I'm going Umar Sy by first round KO. Menafield is just too wild. He's just too wild for these more technical guys. Menafield's gonna go out there, swing some big shit, do some retarded activities, and Sy's gonna counter him or slip him or something like that. Sy's gonna land something big and put him out. Maybe he mixes in some wrestling. Maybe he showcases a good performance over 3 rounds. But I think Sy has all the abilities and all the tools to get this done early. Jesus Christ, loud ass car just drove by. Anyways, I think Umar Sy has all the tools necessary to get a guy like Alonzo Menafield out of there early. Kind of moving around, makes Menafield miss with a big shot and counters over the top, puts Menafield out cold. Menafield's just retarded and chinny, so I'm going Umar Sy, first round TKO. All right, nice bedtime. Next fight on the card: Cody Brundage versus Mansoor Abdul Malik. Brundage fights are hard to pick because Brundage, you think he's gonna lose and then he just randomly chins the guy. Like, I don't know, Brundage fights are weird. Is that just me? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but Brundage is like, you see him get matched up against someone, you're like, oh, Brundage, he's terrible. He's gonna get chinned. He's gonna lose. But then Brundage just goes out there and wins sometimes. Like, he does have really good power. He's nasty on the feet. He's not nasty on the feet. He has mid-level striking, but he's dangerous. He has power, and he's got a wrestling threat. He has finishing potential. And we did see Mansoor Abdul Malik get cracked in his last fight. He didn't get dropped, but he got hurt really bad with an elbow from Nick Klein. But I think Abdul Malik is a pretty clear pick here. I think Mansoor is going to go out there, be just too athletic and too physical, stuff any takedowns from Brundage, and land a big shot and eventually put Brundage out. So I think Mansoor Abdul Malik by knockout, first or second round is the pick here. There is always a chance Brundage lands something big in the pocket and puts you out, or does some weird fluke shit like when he slam KO'd Zach Reese. But yeah, I don't think Mansoor is getting fluke slammed. I don't think Mansoor is going to be on bottom position throwing up triangles. I think he's going to be cracking Cody Brundage on the feet and putting him away. So, yeah, Mansoor Abdul Malik, one of the more dangerous middleweight prospects that we have. I want to see Mansoor Abdul Malik versus Marco Tulio. That would be a sick fucking fight. But yeah, let's move on to the next fight. I'm picking Mansoor Abdul Malik by KO in the first round. Another Cody. We got Cody Brundage versus Raoni Barcelos. Barcelos obviously fraud checked Peyton Talbot in the infamous performance where he showed that Peyton Talbot genuinely cannot wrestle for shit. This is a guy that can wrestle. Cody Garbrandt, this is a guy that has wrestling. He can defend wrestling. I know he got submitted in his last fight, taken down and submitted by Davis and Figueiredo. Figgy's a different beast. Figgy's a top 6 bantamweight in the world. Top 5, I think, actually. I think he's 5th. I don't actually think he's that level, but that's what he's ranked. But Figgy's serious, man. Figgy's a serious problem. Figgy would do terrible things to Ronnie Barcelos. So no shame in that. I'm picking Garbrandt in this fight. I think Garbrandt's going to be slicker on the feet, faster. Barcelos does have power, but we talk about Garbrandt being super chinny. You have to have you have to be like this dangerous presence on the feet to KO Garbrandt, like a Kai Kara France or something like that. You can't just I don't think Ronnie Barcelos is the type of guy to chin Cody Garbrandt. I think Garbrandt's going to be dancing around on the feet, better footwork, hits harder, better boxer. I think he's going to piece up Ronnie Barcelos on the feet. His wrestling defense will probably hold up. I don't think Barcelos is going to be able to do nearly what he did against Peyton Talbot here in this fight, but who knows? Who knows with these types of fighters? They always look. These are the types of fighters that always have these iffy performances. Like Barcelos could show up looking like a god in one fight, and then in his next fight he just looks terrible. Same thing with Garbrandt. He could go out there and fucking school somebody and then get chinned by like a worse guy in his next fight. These are two very 50-50 iffy fighters. But I am going to go with Cody Garbrandt to win this fight. This is a very interesting one, though. Let's move on to the next fight, where we have Edmen Shabazian versus Andre Petroski. Here's the thing. This is how you pick Edmen Shabazian fights. Either he gets the KO in the first round, or he probably loses. Edmen Shabazian versus Andre Petroski. I picked against Petroski in his last fight. I thought he lost his last fight. He got the win over Rodolfo Vieira. I thought Vieira won that fight. Very close fight. Not a robbery, but I thought Vieira should have won. Petroski's good, man. He's got good wrestling, good takedowns. I think Shabazian's going to finish him in the first round, though. I like Shabazian, man. He's one of my favorite unranked middleweights. Shabazian in the first round beats everybody. First round Shabazian is just a different breed. Nasty hand speed, dangerous power, sick striking. He pieces up and hurts everybody in the first round. He's done it to all of his opponents. But then he just worsens as the fight goes drastically. He just gets drastically worse after the first round. So if this fight does leave the first round, it's probably Petroski 29-28. But I don't think it's going to leave the first round. I think Petroski's a little chinny. And I think that on the feet, there's a lot of defensive holes. And I think Edmen Shabazian is going to land a nasty 1-2 or like a big gnarly right hand through the middle. And I think he's going to sleep Andre Petroski brutally. And I think he's going to get a performance bonus here. Edmen Shabazian in the first round, in my opinion, is too dangerous. I feel like people that are really dangerous in the first round are just going to put Petroski away. Like Michel Pereira did it. And I think Edmen Shabazian is just as dangerous in the first round, if not more dangerous in the first round than Michel Pereira, because he's a lot more technical and he's not as retarded as Michel Pereira. So Edmen Shabazian, I think he's going to land a big shot and put Petroski away in the first round. I could also see him winning a decision, but, Shabazian, man. It's usually first round or bust, but I'm going to go with Edmen Shabazian to win this one. I think he's going to KO Petroski in the first round, land a gnarly 1-2, and put him down and ground pound him. But yeah, Edmen Shabazian. It's going to win this fight. Let's move on to the next one. excuse me, Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Maverick. The pick is Rose Namajunas. Miranda Maverick is not high enough level for this. What am I saying? Miranda Maverick is not high enough level for the top five. Um, she just isn't. Miranda Maverick will always be that 15 to 10 type fighter. Um, I think Rose Namajunas is going to be a little too technical on the feet, and the wrestling defense is going to be there. I don't think Maverick is going to be able to just physicality her way through this, and I think Namajunas is just going to outclass her. So yeah, Rose Namajunas by decision is the pick. Main event. Whew. Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. I am picking Joaquin Buckley by KO in the first round. I think Usman's looking really good in training. Somewhat. His knee's looking like it's bugging him. And that's the main reason. I think his knee's going to be cooked. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to oblique kick the shit out of Usman in the first round. His knee's going to start killing him. Usman's going to get impatient, try to look for some, try to land something big. Buckley's going to explode into like an uppercut or an overhand or something, or like a hook. And I think he's going to fucking sleep Kamaru Usman brutally. And it's going to be a terrible time for all the Usman fans. I'm not an Usman hater. I like Usman. Usman's a fun fighter, man. He's fun. But this is Joaquin Buckley's time. All right, I think Joaquin Buckley is one of the most dangerous fighters in this division. He's nasty on the feet. He has wrestling defense. It's not like he's fucking. It's not like Usman's just gonna be able to take him down at will and do whatever he wants to him. Buckley has wrestling and he has good wrestling defense. Buckley has 5-round cardio. Buckley has explosive knockout power. Buckley has the striking, the speed, everything in this. He has the youth advantage. Usman's knees are cooked. Everything's just setting up for a great performance from Buckley. I think Buckley's going to really put himself on the map with this one. Buckley's been putting himself on the map. The Luque performance should have shown people that he was legit. Then he went out there and beat Ruzaboev, took him down comfortably. Then he went out there and knocked out Wonderboy. I know that fight was competitive, but still, knocked out Wonderboy. And then he went out there, and now he's going to go out there, and I think he's going to knock out Usman. Usman's good. Usman's very good. But I think the physicality is going to hurt him in this fight. I think the knees, the age, the losing streak, Buckley has way more momentum. All the intangibles are just going to hurt Usman in this fight. It's not going to be a skill issue for Usman. It's going to be a past his prime issue for Usman. And I think Buckley's going to get the TKO in the first round. He's going to land some oblique kicks, hurt Usman's knee. He's going to land some big shots and eventually explode into a hook, put Usman on his back, and ground and pound TKO him. So, yeah, that is my official pick, Joaquin Buckley by first round knockout. Let's move on to the locks of the card. All right, these are my locks for the card. We got 5 lock picks. Usually we only do 3 or 4. We're going big this time. We're going for 5 lock picks. I think we're going to do good on them. But anyways, my locks are Joaquin Buckley, Rose Namajunas, Mansour Abdul Malik, Malcolm Wellmaker, and Ricky Simone. I was going to put Umar Sy on here as well, but I don't know. Alonzo Menifield's so retarded he might win. So, yeah, I'm not risking it. But yeah, these are my 5 lock picks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.